When the phone call came, I was actually annoyed. I was expecting it. I knew that it was coming, but I wasn't ready for it. I knew that when I picked up the phone, that phone call was going to change the course of my day. And I was annoyed, right? Because I knew the phone calls were coming every single day. And I knew when I picked it up, it would be either the school nurse or my daughter saying that she had a tummy ache and needed to come home. But what happened is every single day when I went to the school and picked her up, her phantom tummy aches would be over by the time we made it to the end of the school drive.
So school was rough for me. There was a time period where I never wanted to go. I didn't really make friends very well, but I made enemies a lot easier. I had a lot of people who didn't like me, and they made it very well known. And the sad part for me is that the reason I didn't want to be at school at all is that, even, the people who are supposed to be there for you, the teachers and the guidance counselors, I felt like they were against me too. It felt like they also didn't do anything to help. So every single day I would go to school, and when I felt like it was too much, I would go and I would call my mom, and I would tell her that I was feeling sick and that I didn't want to be at school anymore and that I wanted to come home. And I knew that if I told her I wasn't feeling well, that she would come get me and that I wouldn't have to be there anymore.
I didn't want to pick up the phone, right? I figured either she was bored or she was having trouble with somebody at school. But maybe she just needed to grow a little bit thicker skin. I mean, haven't we all been bullied at some point in our life? So, I ambled to the phone, and when I picked it up, the voice I heard on the other line was a voice I'd never heard before. She was scared. She was crying unconsolably. She had locked herself in the bathroom stall. And all I could think to myself is, I saw all the signs. How did I miss it? How did I miss that my daughter was being so cruelly bullied?
So I would go home and I would go up to my room and I would close the door and I would lock it and I would turn off the lights and I would just stay in there until the next day. And then sometime around, I want to say age 15 or 16, I was looking into jobs that I could have while I was in school that I didn't have to change my schedule because I was dual enrolled at the time, that worked with what I wanted to do. And I found a company that I could make my own schedule, run my own business pretty much, as long as my mom agreed to do it with me. So I went and I begged her if she would please do this with me. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to sign this thing saying that I can do it. You just have to help me get in, and then you don't have to do anything.
Samantha actually found her own way out. And how does she do that? She actually came to us a couple weeks later and asked, well, let's be honest, she begged for me to start a business with her. She had found this business that would allow her to be part of it as long as we were part of a mother-daughter team. And, I did what every mother would do. I said, no, absolutely not. I mean, I'm not a salesperson, please. But, she never really asked for anything. And I thought maybe this would get her out of the house a little bit and get her around other people. And she would probably lose interest in a month, 2 months max, and I'd be out of it. We would have supported her little interest and we'd be done. But the craziest thing happened. With every little success we had in this business, I saw the effects of her bullying fade just a little bit more. And it wasn't long before she leaned over to me and she said, you know what, Mom? My whole life, people have always told me I wasn't good enough, pretty enough or skinny enough for anything. And she said, I know now that I am good enough, just the way God made me. And I decided, that moment right there, that one moment, that one statement was everything. It was worth everything. If we never made a dime in that company, in our business together, that realization was worth it.
I learned that, it's okay to be around people. It's okay to have conversations with people, even if you're a little odd. A lot of people are really odd, and I always thought that I was the strange person in an entire world of normal, but I was a strange person in an entire world of strange. And, talking to these people and getting to know these women, I started to find confidence in myself because I realized that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't alone. And, all of these women who would tell me stories about them going through bullying or not being able to fit in or always being the weird person out. And these were women who I would look at and be like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's so successful. And still, people would make fun of these women. People would say mean things to these women. And that's when I kind of realized that it didn't make me weird. It didn't make me the problem that people would say mean things to me, because people will say mean things to the person who I admire most. It's just the way it is. So I found confidence in myself. I was able to talk to other people more. I was able to be out in the world more.
So now we can fast forward a few years. She is a thriving young adult. She speaks to large communities. She is a leader on her campus, and she wants, just as much as I do, to help other people learn what we've learned. That it takes intentional learning, and intentional growth to get past all of the struggles that go along with being a teenager and launch successfully into adulthood.